Hi guys, we are moving right along with episode 28 of my series. I'm still in creative mode and I'm hoping I can get some blue and yellow science design today. Before we get on to designing something new, I wanted to show a couple changes I made to purple science. Now, this isn't set in stone quite yet, but I do like the setup a little bit better for the assemblers for the actual purple science themselves. So instead of it basically being cut in half with equal assemblers on each side, it's now just one long line, which helps make it a little bit more streamlined and compact, basically more narrow, and it just seems to be more aesthetically pleasing. I'm not 100% thrilled with how I have the division of the products here, so this is kind of where if I can make some changes, I will, but it's at least some progress in the right direction. Now moving on to designing some new science, I think we're going to be starting with blue today. This I was a little bit hesitant to design last week because it takes some engines, advanced circuits, and solid fuel, but I actually already have solid fuel created at least a little bit, I'm pretty sure, back at the vanilla base. I already have advanced circuits automated, so really I just have to worry about engine units, which shouldn't be too big of a deal. I've already designed it. In fact, here's an example of me designing it for my robot frame build that I used for my ammo/armory section. This is just one version here. It's also the same version that I used in JD Plays and my multiplayer series. So you guys might recognize it. It's something that I like. So I think we'll plan on using the same design or modifying it just a little bit. So the blueprint should be right here. Let's plop this down. This is what I brought over directly from the vanilla map. And I'm trying to remember why I have some belt braiding going on here. Who knows? So it looks like I might be able to get rid of the belt braiding because I don't have any belt braiding going on over there, and that works just fine. One thing I do want to make sure is that I have the correct ratios. So let's see, for blue science, we're going to be needing 2 engine units per pack or pair of blue science packs. So I'm going to go over back into my Kirk McDonald calculator and just double check my ratios. All right, we're back with the Kirk McDonald calculator. And for blue science, I'm again working towards 2 packs a second or 120 packs per minute. So this tells us how many red circuits we'll need for that. This is the engines we're going to be needing for that. Although this might also be going into yellow science, I'm guessing. So we'll probably need closer to half of this. But to actually see specifically how many engines I would need for just yellow science, we could either get rid of this tab or we can go into the visualize setting where you can actually see here, let's see, where is it? Okay, blue science, if you kind of track it back, it does tell you you'll need 35.6 produced per minute, I believe, but some of that does go into the electric engines that do eventually go into the robot frames. So what I will do instead is get out of this setting and we'll just get rid of the yellow science pack so that way we can just see how much is required specifically to go into blue science, and then we'll worry about the yellow science later. So for blue science, it looks like we're going to end up needing 26.7, or in our case, we're going to round it up to 27 assemblers going into creating the regular engines. We'll need 3 assemblers for pipes, 2 assemblers since we're running up again for the iron gear wheels, and that's really not too bad. So I'm going to keep these ratios on my other screen, and then we'll modify the blueprint that I already have set in place for the engines just to match these ratios. Okay, we're back in the game. I will have to start modifying this, and basically this whole half has to go because this will be useful when the electric engines will be needed for the yellow science, but we're not there quite yet. This is just electric engines for blue science. So this whole portion can be deleted, but what I can do is basically just mirror this and put this on the other side, so that way we have outputs coming from left and right for the engines. Unfortunately, Factorio doesn't really mirror blueprints very well, so we'll have to make a couple modifications. In fact, let's just start with this. like that. And then let me add up how many I have because, like I said, I'm going to be needing 27 electric engine assemblers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is only 16 right now. Let's cut that off. Let's add a couple more. That should be now 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, 24, 25, 26, and 27 we'll have here at the bottom. Just like I've been doing with my other science factories, I'm liking the symmetry by having one kind of in the middle at the very, very end instead of having it asymmetrical. The outputs need to be mirrored or extended, one or the other. And the outputs are going at the top. Okay, good to know. Whoops. This part will be the exception. There we go. We'll extend this down as well. And then I'll mirror it on the other side here. All right, here's the engine assembler section complete. It is symmetrical, basically the same on both sides and split right down the middle. We do have to worry about our inputs, so we'll need the pipes, of course, will be spitting out onto one side of this lane, but then we could fit the steel and the iron gear wheels on either sharing this lane here, or we can put one of them also sharing the same lane as the pipes. I don't think it really matters because the engines should be slow enough where it should be able to take from either lane with either inserter, I would imagine. But only one way to know for sure, and that will be to test it, which we will do in just a minute as well. I do want to worry about the assemblers for the pipes since we're not going to have that mass produced, at least for this factory. So the pipes will be 3 assemblers. And I'm using blue assemblers because that is what I currently have at the vanilla base. So I'm trying to keep it with the current tech that I have. And then once we do get yellow assembler tech, it'll just kind of be a bonus to increasing our production. So it'll just be an added cherry on top. So this will be the pipes. So this will take 3. So one thing I can do is put it like that. So it's basically the same shape as this point here with a little point at the top. Or I suppose what I could do is have it be a little asymmetrical. Yeah, like that. Have it be like pipe, and then have this be an extra engine. So even though like it's an odd number of assemblers devoted to pipes and electric engines, you would never really know at first glance just looking at this because it is symmetrical in terms of the amount of assemblers for the whole factory. I may just do this just for simplicity's sake because it seems to make sense, but let's make sure we can get away with it for starters. So, one thing I do have to worry about though is making sure that these 3 get the pipes evenly distributed, which I can do. It'll just be a little bit more complicated. I'm going to give this stuff power though, just so it stops blinking because that's a bit annoying. All right, so since this is an extra electric engine assembler, that needs to go there. This will kind of have to be changed up a little bit here. Let's just add that there. Okay, and then in terms of the pipes, let's see how we want to do this. So the pipes just takes iron plate, and then for the iron gear wheels, I know I have that mass produced, but one thing I'm trying to keep in mind is I do have iron gear wheels mass produced with my factory back at the vanilla base, but I don't know that I want my car delivery system to go through that iron gear wheel factory just to pick up some iron gear wheels when all I need are literally 2 assemblers for iron gear wheels here. So I think I'm going to have the iron gear wheels produced on site actually. And that will help out with the symmetry as well, because it's an even number. So we can have those go here. Awesome. So I think this is the shape of the factory. Hopefully all of the products will make its way down to the end. If not, I may have to change up a couple things, but now we just have to figure out how we distribute the pipes. That's basically the big question. So it would be great if we can have iron come in through the middle here. We can change this like that. There we go. That will be our input inserter. Not too shabby. And this will take 2 pipes. We can put the pipes, why not? Let's just put it on the same line as the, I think, oh, I guess oh yeah, they'll have the same line as the iron gear wheels. So iron gear wheels will have to do the trick where we change the side that it's going on, which is not a big deal. There we go. This side, yeah, that will not work. Like that. Okay, this is working so far. I'm going to put my little cheaty input thing here. This will be the iron plate for testing purposes. There we go. Let's start giving some things some power here. Okay, pipes and iron gear wheels are working. That is promising. We do still have to worry about this guy because the output for this guy, in order to keep up with production for all, I think, what was it, 27 of the electric engines, have to go to this side as well as this side. This side, of course, is the easy part because that just goes straight there. The other side is a bit more complicated. This is what I get for wanting symmetry. Oh, and looking here, I did not mix my products very well. Let's see what I did wrong. Whoops. I did it correct on this side, but not on the other side. There we go. But now I need to give it power. All right, so now the inputs should be fixed on this side here, like it is. Okay, great. Oh, but how do I get the pipes over here, huh? Without making it entirely hideous. I'm just playing around with a couple things. That works, I guess, technically. I think that will work. Okay, so that can get deleted. I think the question is just whether I like that setup better than having one outlier assembler over here. So Let's move this. Let's give an input of steel here to the sides, and then we'll test it. And then we need the void matter thingy right here. All right, now this factory should technically be working. It's just a matter of giving it a minute to warm up and then checking the ratios, making sure we're producing, should be the 26.7 electric engines per minute to keep up with blue science. All right, I would say this is sufficiently warmed up. Time to check ratios. I did notice I misspoke with the ratio for the electric engines for the rate per minute. I was looking at the wrong number, so pulling over here back the Factorio calculator, I said 27 per minute of the engines, but that's actually the number of assemblers that we needed. This is the actual rate here, so it's 120 per minute that we need for the electric engines to go into blue science. So let's go back to the game and let's see if we're doing it. All right, that's a 5-second interval. Here's the 1 minute. Let's get rid of all of the stuff we don't care about, just so it's a little bit more clear. Oh gosh. We'll get rid of those things. We do care about blue science, but we don't actually have assemblers for blue science yet. Okay. Oh, this is the 10-minute interval. We don't want that. That's a little too much time. But the 1 minute interval, hey, it bounces around a lot. But I'm guessing over the 10-minute interval, this will be a little bit more stable. So it looks like we're frequently hitting above 120 per minute, which is the correct ratio that we're looking for. Not 27 per minute, but 120 per minute, again, for the assemblers of electric engines to go into blue science. So that is this portion done. Blue science, the other components were solid fuel, which I was debating last episode. I remember making a comment that I didn't know if I wanted to make solid fuel on site or not, but because solid fuel is so reliant on like all of the other liquids being balanced properly, it seems like it would just be easier to have it built off-site, like with all of the other fluids. Although I suppose I could just pipe light oil or light fuel over here into some chemical plants to make the solid fuel. That's a thought. Let's pull back over the calculator now that I'm second guessing my choices here. So, okay. Solid fuel, I would need 60 per minute. Oh, and it looks like I would actually only need 2 chemical plants. Can that be right? Really? Interesting. Maybe, Now I'm all conflicted about what I want to do. How would I do that? I could, I guess, have maybe the engines share with the solid fuel. Let's see, how do I want to divvy this up? I maybe could, honestly. Let's test this. So let's test this theory. If I were to just pipe in light, light fuel over here. And sorry, I get like mumbly and stuff when I'm thinking really hard. Whoops, I shouldn't have gotten rid of that condition. This is iron plate. We probably only need like not even half a lane worth. Okay, so if we make this solid fuel like that, let's do some pipes like that. We'll do, where's some underground? There we go. And then the tester. So we need the fluid source right there. So this will be light oil, and we want to use light oil because it is far more efficient to use that than anything else. Although you wouldn't know that from my previous playthrough in 0.16 because I did use petroleum in some parts. Okay, so this could go like underground. We can make this fit. Huh. There we go. Some creative problem solving is what we're doing. That and that. Okay, so now we could join up the solid fuel and the engines. The reason why we can't do it at the very top is because the engines have to go on from both sides onto this one shared lane here. So now we can join them up, and we can do so by having it go like that and like that. And Bob's your uncle. Whatever that means. Okay, so now let's do some ratio testing. Pulling back over the calculator. Handy calculator here. So it says theoretically we should only need 2 chemical plants to produce solid fuel at 60 solid fuel per minute. Let's see if we are producing that. I'm switching these to blue inserters since that's what I have mostly back at the vanilla base. So production rates, I don't know if it's been going for a full minute yet, but let's see. All right. It looks like the calculator is correct. This is one reason why I love to use a calculator, because I know if I'm meeting the ratios that I need. It's just very clear. It takes the difficult work out of it for me. So I am producing just about 60 per minute, sometimes a little bit more. But that is all we should need, I would imagine. So once we get, modules in here and stuff as well, it should definitely overproduce more than 60 per minute. I think that will be our solution for solid fuel. In fact, we can also make this a little bit more compact by moving this down a tile, but that's not something I'll worry about right this second. So we've got solid fuel and engines covered. The red circuits we have covered because we already have that produced at the vanilla base. It would just be a matter of getting it input somewhere. So the next thing we can do for blue science is get some assemblers. Oh, I want to use blue assemblers. Let's get those, and we'll need the blue assemblers to go into the actual blue science assembly themselves. So pulling back the calculator yet again, we will need 32 chemical science plants even. All right, so 32. We could do 16 on either side. Let's try 16 first. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, I think it will be too long if we try to go for just 32 all the way down. So we'll have it be a matter of 16 on either side. I think that's where it has to go. Yep, because we need a lane in the middle here. Like so, and like so. And we'll put in the recipes. Again, this is blue science. Perfect. Now we just need power. And why do I have those there? What I could do to make this extra fancy, this might, and I could do this technically for this setup as well. But I could clean up my power usage by adding in some substations just throughout, just like this. And then that way I don't need nearly as many small electrical poles. Whoops, that goes the other way. All right, that covers it. I could probably make it a little bit more even distribution, so it's more centered, I suppose, since those are things I typically think about, but not necessarily care about. I don't know why I would want to turn that on yet. So, okay, let's make a copy of this. There we go, got it. We'll delete this now. And then we'll take that blueprint. I don't know where it went. Okay, there it goes. And let's make sure we're even. Wow. You would think I planned this. It's not quite like perfect, just because this we've got basically the 2 chemical plants worth just above this section here. What we could do is even this out and just carry the output of the solid fuel back onto this line so we can have this more centered, which I might do. But apart from that, this is very nearly perfect. And we'll put that there. We'll modify, where exactly we have power in just a minute here. Oh, that's right. I'm forgetting, though, about the red. I forgot about red circuits. Crap. Okay, let's make one more copy of this. We'll delete this again. So red circuits we can have come here. Yes. This will be red circuits, red circuits. Then we can add in the stuff. Like that. Red circuits on the other side as well. We will have to add in either a long-handed inserter, or we can do the trick we've been doing with all of the other sciences where we have them kind of balanced with some splitters onto either side and kind of switch sides. But I think for simplicity's sake for now, I'm just going to put one long-handed inserter straight down the middle. And then we can change it up as needed. So that goes there and there. We'll put the matter void thingy, which is over here at the bottom, there at the end. And then this will get brought over here. Oh, let's actually, I forgot. It's coming on this lane here, so we do need a splitter right here. Oh, good to know. So the red circuits there will not go into the splitter, even if it's met head-on like it is there. So that's good. So now, technically, this factory should start working. And then we'll let this warm up. And then we'll check back with the production statistics yet again. All right, moment of truth time. Let's take a look. 5-second interval we don't want. The 1-minute interval bounces around a little bit. So I've definitely been taking longer than 10 minutes because I've also been working on editing in the background while this has been running. So let's take a look at this, and woohoo! We are at an even 120. Oh, we were a second ago, but 120 per minute. I'm not sure why the sudden dip. We did have a little dip here. I think this must have been where I was kind of moving some electrical poles around and maybe it impacted the production rate. But you saw it. Oh, and now it's back up. We are technically at 120 per minute as of a second ago. And as of right now. So let's end this before it goes back down again. But that is enough for me to keep up with the rate I want. And this looks really good. So I think let's call Blue Science done. I wish we had time to move on to yellow science, but we are already over time, having spent like 20 plus minutes already on blue science. So that will have to wait yet again. Another cliffhanger for you guys. So sorry it's taking so long to produce science, but I'm trying to show you pretty much every detail I go through with how I do my design process. So yellow science will be in next episode for sure, because that is technically the last science that we have to do. So count on that for next episode, and then we'll be all caught up on science. And then after that, it'll just be a matter of building it, basically installing everything, making it look all nice, basically putting all of these miscellaneous factories somewhere nice throughout the base. So I hope you guys will stick around for that type of content. But in the meantime, thank you guys for joining me, and I will be seeing you next week.